I think Kamala Harris not going on Joe Rogan is dumb. She should have gone on Joe Rogan. Have you seen the New York Times and CNN polls? It's not looking too good. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like, look, it's out of our hands, folks. There's not really much we can do. I don't really know where this will go, but I don't think Kamala's chances are as bad as the media is saying. Like, I think they're bad. They would have been much better if she ran a normal campaign. Look, I've been a Kamala truther on both ends. Okay, I've simultaneously been railing against her dog shit campaign while also saying that, like, listen, liberals, like, her chances are not that dire. You should still be worried, and you should definitely not capitulate the right-wing framing. Having said that, as the time went on, as she went on like television and whatnot, as she went on the news, as she made these media appearances, I kept seeing that the situation was worsening for her. The dynamic is very different now. Donald Trump could potentially win the popular vote and lose the goddamn general, lose the goddamn electoral college. Have you not been seeing who the Democrats are reaching out to? They're trying to win with high propensity voters in like specifically targeted districts at this point. It's like inherently undemocratic. They literally were just like, hey, remember the electoral college? Yeah, we remember. We are going to we are going to craft our entire national campaign for like 8 suburbs in 7 goddamn states. Okay, that's what they are literally doing a national campaign around. Bezos personally intervened to stop WAPO from endorsing Harris. Yo, you know what's really crazy about this, by the way? All these fucking billionaires are just like, yeah, you're not allowed to endorse Kamala Harris. And then these guys resign and everyone's like, wow, the American media is so brave. It's like, bitch, there's been like 200 Palestinian journalists that were fucking slaughtered by Israel as your newspaper was writing articles about how that's actually kind of sick. I didn't see a single goddamn peep from none of these fucking editors. And I know for a fact it's not the journalists that are at odds with that coverage. It's not the journalists that were fucking saying like, oh yeah, let's do propaganda for Israel. It was the fucking editorial boards. They had no issue writing all that fucking bullshit screed. Okay, but oh, lo and behold, all of a sudden you can't endorse Kamala Harris. They're like, I guess we're resigning now. Nearly a dozen tanker planes and 20 F-16s headed to MENA per CENTCOM. Yeah, it's happening. 11 days out from the election, and they're like, all right, time to fucking bomb Iran, dude. Biden is only doing it because of this. Yeah, dude. Trump said he would pardon Hunter Biden, and then Joseph Robinette Brandon was like, it's time, Jack. We're gonna pummel Iran. Let me tell you something. I'm in the tank for my boy. I don't want no woman being in a presidential role. By God, I'll do everything I can to make sure that Kamala Harris loses this election. Do you think Dems are still in a better position than before the Biden switch, or in the same one, even worse one? No, they're in definitely a better position than the Biden switch. What do you mean? Kamala Harris made up like 8 points, guys. What are we talking about? Like over the course of a week, she shot up. It's a significantly better position, especially because there's a likelihood that she could still win. There was no likelihood that Biden was winning that election. So that's something to consider. That's definitely something you have to consider. The New York Times CNN poll finds Harris and Trump tied nationally at 48-48. Since the last poll, Trump has gained 2 points. Harris has lost 1. That's bad news. But note this for the final stretch. 15% are still not fully decided, and Harris leads with them. Yeah, good stuff. I see it. Like, I look at the environment. I look at what's going on. I recognize that Donald Trump actually has a very limited avenue of victory here. I'm not so certain of Kamala Harris's electoral defeat still, but things are definitely not looking great for her. It's a cook-off, but both candidates are in the oven too long. Yeah, both candidates suck. Anyway, it can go in either direction. All right, WAPO, alongside with Los Angeles Times, has decided not to endorse a candidate. And by that, I mean they've decided not to endorse Kamala Harris. This is now the second major newspaper that got the boss call. Another fucking billionaire made the boss call and was like, nope, you're not doing it. An endorsement of Harris had been drafted by Post editorial page staffers, but had yet to be published, according to the 2 sources briefed on the sequence of events who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly. The decision not to publish was made by the Post owner, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, according to the same sources. And now the WAPO editor has resigned. Scoop, Washington Post editor at large Robert Kagan confirms to me that he resigned from the Post following today's decision not to endorse in the presidential race. I want to say something here, okay? This is hollow. First of all, fuck Jeff Bezos, even though he's my boss technically. Okay, no disrespect, Jeff Bezos, but like, come on. That's number one. Number two. These, like, what are we doing? What are we doing in this country where billionaires could just be like, a major distributed newspaper and its editorial team have no control over their own shit? Okay, that's crazy. Like, how does not a single person, how do you not look at this and go, what the is happening? You got Elon Musk that owns Twitter and is using Twitter to make it Stormfront. Okay, you got Jeff Bezos being like, nah, Washington Post, you can't endorse Kamala Harris. Like Kamala Harris, okay? Not a fan. You guys know this. But how the how is this a thing? How is nobody going, this seems kind of weird to me that like the editorial team cannot make this decision. A billionaire can make the fucking boss call like this. This shit pisses me off. What the hell? This is Gilded Age shit. This is straight up Gilded Age shit. Now, the third thing I want to say is that these guys in the editorial team are fucking cowards. Okay? Sorry. I know a lot of the wonderful journalists that work under your reign at the editorial team at Washington Post, Los Angeles Times as well. These guys only resign when the boss call is made because you can't endorse Kamala Harris. That's time for resignation. You didn't have any issues whatsoever with the direction of the paper at all up until this moment. 12 months of genocide. I know for a fucking fact that the news teams and the editorial team is almost entirely at odds with the coverage on Israel. Like almost always. Every single news outlet right now has the exact same problem. Your fucking journalists are like, bro, I'm seeing something and I want to write about it. This is insane. The editorial team is like, nah, it's fine. Don't write it. Or they're looking at it and they're going, let's massage this a little bit. Keep in mind that in 2020, when Bernie said that the Washington Post was biased against him, he got dragged through the mud. But I guess that wasn't a ridiculous proposition after all. Yeah, of course. LA Times union response. Comments are sad because the union saying don't cancel your sub and libs are saying no. Yeah, democracy dies in the darkness is pretty funny because like it is, okay? It is dying in the darkness. I guess we're in the darkness. Here's the last time Jeff Bezos tweeted. Our former president showed tremendous grace and courage under literal fire tonight. So thankful for his safety and so sad for the victims and their families. Jeff Bezos is the one guy that got duped by the Trump. The polls didn't even move except for one guy, Jeff Bezos. Also, this is the least shocking thing of all time. Jeff Bezos is a Silicon Valley tech bro. All of those Silicon Valley tech bros are so firmly committed to Donald Trump right now. That's why Mark Zuckerberg, who got hit with the Dominican ray, was running around being like, yeah, actually, honestly, Donald Trump getting shot and then putting his fist up in the air. Badass, pretty badass, dude. That raised fist was pretty badass. Like, shut the fuck up. These guys are all charlatans. They've all been like Ayn Randian libertarian dipshits from the jump. And now they're on board with Donald Trump. Everything is bad. Oligarchy in the USA, starting in the USA. No, it's starting is here. It's been here, man. When was it not here? There has not been a moment where oligarchy wasn't here, okay? What do you mean starting? This is what I've been telling you for a long time. The issue is now it's getting to a level where it's like making people uncomfortable because people are recognizing it. Having said that, however, things are probably not going to change. And on top of that, a lot of people are going to start recognizing. Not necessarily recognizing it, but normalizing it. We just have this incredible tendency to look at like horrifying things that people warned us about in history books and just being like, it's fine. I got my jalapeno poppers. I'm good. That's where we're at right now. You got billionaires being like, making boss calls to fucking major newspapers being like, no endorsement for Kamala Harris. You have no editorial control. Don't you forget who butters your bread.